Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Kayleigh, and if you're new then welcome to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you want to continue to see what I upload then subscribe to my channel and remember to click the bell notification so you get notified when I update and post new content. Remember to give this video a big thumbs up down below if you enjoy it and comment any suggestions or any questions you have about drama school and I will answer them all for you. This video is going to be me ranking drama schools based on their auditions in my opinion, and only the drama schools that I auditioned for. So I'm currently a second year at East 15 Acting School and I auditioned for 2 years to get in. My first year was when I was 17 turning 18 and that was when I was still at school, and I auditioned for 3 schools that year and then I auditioned the year after and I auditioned for 9 schools that year. If you want to see an in-detailed version of all of my drama school audition stories then go and check that out. I filmed that about a year ago. So that is where I basically try to remember everything that happened at those auditions. However, I watched it back yesterday and realised that I'd never actually filmed an East 15 audition video, which I was going to do last year and then I just never did it. I don't know why. So that video is still due, so I will film that while I'm in isolation. So these opinions are all my own, as in all of my videos. If you don't agree with them, I'm very sorry, but these are just my opinions, and with drama school auditions it is so subjective. Me and my friends all have completely different opinions about each school. One of my favourite schools is one of my best friends at drama school's least favourite school. So that just shows it all, like we're so similar but we both had such different experiences at the auditions. It also depends what year you've auditioned. I know that some places change their auditions year to year. It depends who you have on the panel. It can depend what other people, like what the talent's like around you. It can literally depend on your mood that day, whether you're feeling well or not. There's so many different reasons to why you can have a good audition day or a bad audition day. Out of all of the schools I applied for, 3 in the first year, 9 in the second year, in total it is 10 schools. I got accepted into 2 drama schools by the end of all of my auditions. I got accepted to East 15 Acting School and I got accepted to Liverpool Theatre School, but for various reasons I chose East 15 Acting School. I may do a whole other video about that. So let's just get started, otherwise I'll talk all day, as we all know. I'm gonna go in reverse order and we're gonna start with number 10 on my list, which is Birmingham School of Acting. Now, my audition at Birmingham School of Acting was probably one of the most tragic auditions ever that I've ever done. Well, it was the most tragic audition I've ever done. I was 17 when auditioning and they told me I was too young. The only good thing about that audition for me was the fact that they give you feedback. I think that's amazing. I think more drama schools should give you feedback straight after your pieces, so you know what to work on then for the next year. So that's one positive. Didn't get a very good vibe when I first got there, which is really annoying because I'd looked around that school and I loved it, but when I got to the audition the students were like showing off about how much they just like didn't work for their audition but still got in, and this one boy was saying that he turned up high to his audition and he got in and he was kind of like showing off about it. I was just sat there like, you're such a d*** and I don't want anything to do with that. But I really loved the school, so I went into the audition and yeah, the panellist was so rude to me that I actually cried when I left the audition, which, I mean, it takes a lot for me to cry if you're mean to me. Like, yeah, she was very rude. The panellists aren't teachers that work at the school, which I just do not understand at all. That's Birmingham School of Acting, and like, don't get put off by my experiences with any of these schools, but I just really didn't like that, and they may have changed it since then, but that is just what I have to say, because before the audition that was my #1 school. Like, it wasn't one of the top drama schools, it wasn't a London one or anything like that. I just actually loved it, and they have like this huge green screen room and I was like, I really want to get into TV and film, and I was like having practice with that huge green screen. It's like the biggest one in Europe or something. Yeah, I was like, wow, fair play. But the audition was not good, sorry, Birmingham School of Acting. Number 9 we have Drama Centre, which is part of the University of Arts London. That audition for me, no, it wasn't good. It wasn't bad, but it just wasn't good. They could have done so much more to make it better, and I know that actually Drama Centre unfortunately has like lost their funding to do with their university, so they're actually shutting. I don't know if they'll reopen at some point or not, and I would never wish that upon any drama school, because I think the arts are so important, especially drama, and it really allows people to express themselves. So that is really unfortunate about Drama Centre. However, my experience 2 years ago, now I'm trying to do the maths. It was 2 years ago, yeah. 2 years ago. The audition wasn't very personal. There was a group of about 20 of us, shoved in a small room, did a very basic warm-up. They didn't find out anything about us. There was no interview questions. It was literally warm up and do your pieces, no feedback, no nothing. Just go wait in a room, and then they just put a piece of paper on the door with who'd got through, and then they didn't even say bye. I was like, okay.
Well, see you then.
I just thought, you know, you can be a bit more human and a bit more personal. Like actually be friendly and say hi and goodbye to people that have paid money to come to your audition, but whatever. I know some big schools feel like they don't need to do that because they have so many applicants, but I just think, yeah, it was not very personal. In at number 8 is, shockingly to some people, RADA. RADA is an amazing drama school, and don't get me wrong, it is. It's one of the best in England, but RADA's interview and audition is all in one little like 5-minute slot, and I didn't go to RADA to do my audition, which I do regret. I went to Leicester to do it because the dates, like when you're applying for drama schools, the dates have to be on certain days, and if you can't do those days then you get put to the local ones, or you basically just pick your preferences, and the preference date for me was the one that was at Leicester because I was working at the time. They ask you a few questions, interview, which I really do like. I rate drama schools that ask you about yourself, because they need to know something about your personality and something about you other than just write these 2 minutes of monologue, because how do they know they want to work with you? You could be an absolute but be alright in your 2-minute monologue. So they asked me a couple of bits about why I chose those pieces, what I was doing with my life, why I wanted to go to RADA, blah blah blah. Did the pieces, asked me a couple more questions, and then said bye. So yeah, it was very quick. That was the reason it's at number 8, because it was so quick. I really felt like they couldn't get enough of a vibe of me. I would love to do like a workshop sort of audition with RADA, and they might do that at the London audition, but the one I was at, it was very, very quick. At number 7, it is Central. Now, I did it locally again for Central because of the dates, so maybe it would be a completely different experience if I did it at the actual school in London. There was nothing wrong with the Central audition, actually. I met some really nice people there, and I actually liked the audition. It's just that I much preferred the 6 above it, so that's why it's at that point. I actually really did enjoy the Central audition. They did group warm-ups and workshop kind of bits with us at the start. Then they split us into 2 groups. One group waited and the other group did their pieces, and then we swapped. And then after that it was literally just sort of, okay, you're Anna, you're in, everyone else see ya, sort of a thing. There wasn't any sort of interview questions or getting anything to know about you. But yeah, I did enjoy it. It just was not as good as the rest above it on my list. Then in at number 6 is Lambda, and Lambda I loved. I did both years, and they do like a panelist room where you do your speeches, and then you go to another room and you have an interview with 2 other people. And I did it locally again, which I don't know, there's a lot of like, should you do it locally, should you go to London, but the dates worked better for me, so I did that. And the panellists remembered me both years, which I thought was amazing, seeing as how many thousands of people audition, and they remembered me the second year. And they make you feel so comfortable. They want to know quite a lot about you, and it kind of brings out your personality and whether you're ready for their course or whether they think you're ready for the school. Lambda's audition is very good. I just wish that maybe the interview and the panellist bit was all in one, so the panellists could see your personality a bit more as well as your acting. But yeah, overall good, we like it. Number 5 is GSA, and it's just crazy because I actually, like, I love GSA, but the audition is at number 5 out of 10 on my list, because I did a summer school at GSA, absolutely loved it. It was one of the best weeks of my life, like, met so many amazing people, trained so hard and learnt so much. If anyone is ever looking at drama school summer schools, then GSA summer school, I highly recommend it. The audition, I had to do it in Manchester because of the dates. Yeah, the dates are like a massive thing for my year when I auditioned for 9 schools, because I was working a lot, and so the dates really did matter for me. And otherwise I would have gone to Guildford and done it there, but I ended up going to Manchester, which was fine. The audition was okay. It was like workshop based at the beginning, and then we all did our pieces in front of each other. Again, I would like it if there was a bit more interview sort of questions, find out about you. Then in at number 4 is actually East 15. Sorry if anyone's watching this that works at East 15 that knows me. But East 15's audition was not my favourite audition out of all of the 10 schools, but it also wasn't a bad audition at all. I really loved the audition, in fact. It's just I preferred other ones. And what I liked about the East 15 audition was that you kind of got feedback straight after, or you were workshopped in a certain way, and I liked that. And it was the only school I went to that actually workshopped your pieces, I think. Yeah, it was the only school that I went to that workshopped your monologues and changed them, or gave you a task or a game or something to do while you did your monologues to kind of stop you just doing it the same way that you've done it every time. I loved that. And we had 2 different panels for contemporary and classical, which I also really liked, 'cause it meant that you got to see different teachers and kind of how they work, and it meant 2 different opinions got to see you, which I really liked. Yeah, there was no sort of interview questions. I think that would be what would make it better, if there was a bit more sort of being able to express your personality as well as your acting. Then the recall in the afternoon, so I only did East 15 my second year, and the recall in the afternoon, my recall for my course was basically just to sit down, chat, and to say you've got in, which is quite funny, whereas a lot of the other recalls were quite physical and they had to do pieces again or move around the room or whatever, but mine was literally just you've got in. So that was quite nice actually, and very reassuring. We basically just got told we got in, so we didn't really have to do anything else. In at number 3 is the school I applied to by accident. If you want the full story on that, then go to my other audition story. So I applied to Liverpool Theatre School by accident, and it is actually my 3rd favourite audition. It was a full day and there was only 3 of us, so we got so much attention. We had a voice workshop, and then we had a whole acting workshop where we did scene work with this one head of acting who was amazing, and he worked so much into details, text analysis and everything. Then we had an interview with him where you could find out what we were like and what sort of acting we wanted to do and who we aspired to be like. And then we did our pieces with him, and he had a little chit chat with us, and he kind of told me that I'd got in there. But yeah, I had a really fun day there, and it was so worth travelling to Liverpool for that, and it makes the audition so much better if it's worth the money you've paid for it, because they're not cheap at all, and you travel all the way to this place that could be like 5 hours away from where you live, even more, and you expect your money's worth out of the day, and that school did get your money's worth. But if you want to see the full story on that, then go check out my other video. In at number 2 is Italia Conti, and I really loved Italia Conti. It was a full day again. We did warm-ups as a group where they found out about us, so I really liked that. Then we did our pieces in front of a panel of 2. Then after that they recalled some people back for the afternoon workshops, and we had a singing workshop and a movement workshop, and they were both really, really good. And then after that some people got recalled for the interviews, but I didn't, unfortunately. However, I really loved that audition, it was very good. In at number 1, my favourite drama school audition was Arts Ed, which I did both years. It was a full day. There was a lot of waiting around, but overall the audition was fab. You did a talk at the beginning where they just explained kind of what was going to happen. Then you went into a room and you did big group warm-up and lots of workshops and games, different things. There was quite a lot of people, but you got to know people very easily. You then did a tour of the school, so they really showed you around everywhere, which I love, because how do you know if you're gonna like it if they don't show you around? I mean, to be fair, yeah, I didn't audition at all the places, but even some of the ones that I did audition at the place, they didn't show you around. They spoke to you about like funding and like loads of random things. They let us ask loads of questions, and then you went in my first year, you did it one at a time, you did your pieces, and then you could go home. In my second year, you went in groups and all watched each other, which I much prefer, so that was really good. And I think they recognised me the second year I went there. I can't really remember though. However, that was my favourite audition, and I just love Arts Ed, really. And it's funny because some of my friends hate it. So drama schools are just so subjective. So that was my top 10. I mean, my only 10 that I've ever done, but my 10 in order of how I rank the auditions. Again, if you want to see full stories of the auditions, then go check out my other video. If you also like drama school content, then I have some weekly vlogs, daily vlogs, Q&A sorts of things, so go and check those out. And yeah, if you've got any questions after this video, then go and comment them down below and I will get back to you as soon as I can. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I would love to grow my little YouTube family. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which will be on Friday. See ya!